that the Department of Homeland Security is setting up a Disinformation Governance Board to tackle misinformation ahead of the midterms. Secretary Mayorkas said that part of its intention was to tackle misinformation in Hispanic communities especially. Can you give us an idea of what this board is going to be doing, what their authority would look like?
Sure, Jacqui. I really haven't dug into this exactly. I mean, we of course support this effort, but let me see if I can get more specifics. We know that there has been a range of disinfo out there about a range of topics. I mean, including COVID, for example, and also elections and eligibility, but I will check and see if there's more specifics.
Yesterday, you announced the formation of Disinformation Governance Board at DHS. You put out a bulletin 2 months ago, big fancy bulletin here, red, white, and blue. You said that misleading narratives, dis and malinformation, MDM as you call it, misleading narratives undermine the trust in government. I was just wondering, when the head of the CDC, Ms. Walensky, said that the vaccinated can't get the virus, did that undermine trust in government? When the highest paid official in our government, the smartest man on the planet, Dr. Fauci, when he said the virus didn't come from a lab, did that undermine trust in government? How about this one? How about when 51 former intel officials told us that the Hunter Biden story had all the earmarks of Russian misinformation? Will that be something that this governance board that you just formed, will you be looking into that?
Congressman, the Disinformation Board addresses disinformation that imperils the safety and security of our homeland. And one of the primary areas that we are focused on is the dissemination of disinformation and its potential connectivity.
But that's not what your bulletin talked about.
The gentleman's time.
It talked about COVID.
The gentleman's time has expired. I am permitting the witness to answer the question, but the gentleman can say nothing now. It's witnesses'
let me know when
privilege to answer the gentleman's question.
Yeah.
And
continue your answer.
And its connectivity to violence.
What do you say to people sort of in their camp who are concerned that canceling student debt can have an inflationary impact?
Well, I haven't looked at all those numbers and what incomes they would apply to, nor has there been a proposal that the president has put out on this front or anything that's passed through Congress.
You're anti-fossil fuels, aren't you?
I would like to transition away from unabated fossil fuels to a clean energy future.
How did you transit over here today?
I got a ride in the fleet vehicle that we have.
And that's a Suburban, probably, with a chase vehicle for your security detail.
My preferred vehicle is the one.
I don't care about your preferred vehicle. That's not what.
Well, I have in my fleet vehicle. We do have an electric vehicle.
Did you drive the electric vehicle over here today?
Not today because we had too many people in the car.
Okay. So just for the record, they have fossil fuel vehicles within the fleet that moves the secretary around. And I'm glad you have electric vehicles. That's fine. We'll knock that for the record, too. Is that a Tesla or is that a Ford product?
The Ford product.
Okay.
What did you pay for the last tank of gas that you put in your vehicle? Does your personal vehicle use gas?
My personal vehicle is located in California, and I paid close to, well, actually, my personal vehicle is electric, but my daughter's vehicle, who's with us, paid close to $5 a gallon. Yeah. It's expensive.
Against the backdrop of the president's announcement today and request for this $33 billion aid package, can you say, is it the policy goal of the United States for Ukraine to defeat Russia?
Well, look, it depends on we're not going to define that from here. That's for the Ukraine. Well, that's for the Ukrainians to define.
Your budget request reduces the amount of bed space you request to detain people. Isn't that right?
Yes, our fiscal year 2023 budget requests 25,000 detention beds. And the numbers, as you have readily identified, the number of detention beds over the last many years has not met the number of individuals who are in asylum proceedings. And
so you're reducing the ones you're requesting.
Are we going to see an adjustment in your budget request? Because you deal with an awful lot of projects, major construction, minor construction, everything else. I suspect the price of those is going to be significantly increased because of inflation.
Well, it's certainly a concern. And this is the 2023 budget, so, some economists are suggesting that inflation is going to level off a bit, but it's just so hard to know.
The CMS has issued a fee schedule in November that weights anti-racism activities to have more preference over one being diagnosed for cancer, one being diagnosed of what drugs they should have before surgery is unacceptable. The most important things to every physician should be providing high-quality care to every patient, Mr. Secretary. Politics should be the furthest thing from a physician's mind. Shamefully, under your agency, politics, not medicine, will take center stage at the doctor's office. Under this new measure, Mr. Secretary, you have adopted quality assessment of patient care provided by physicians will be directly linked to the implementation of anti-racism plans. Specifically, HHS will encourage clinicians to perform clinic-wide reviews of existing tools and policies such as value statements or clinical practice guidelines to ensure that they include and are aligned with a commitment to anti-racism. Mr. Chairman, I think that's unacceptable.
Thank you. I'm going to allow the Secretary to answer, if you would like.
Very briefly, Mr. Chairman. Congressman, I respect the position you take.
The Secure Offense Act of 2006 says what? That the Secretary of Homeland Security shall take all actions the Secretary determines necessary to achieve and maintain operational control over the entire international land and maritime borders. Will you testify under oath right now? Do we have operational control, yes or no?
Yes, we do. And
we have operational control of the borders.
Yes, we do. And Congressman, we are working to...
Listen what operational control defined. In this section, the term operational control means the prevention of all unlawful entries into the United States, including entries by terrorists, other unlawful aliens, instruments of terrorism, narcotics, and other contraband. Do you stand behind your testimony that we have operational control in light of this definition?